What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Too Savage for Democrats podcast. You probably could hardly hear me just then, but that's fine. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Too Savage for Democrats show, a new daily podcast that I'm launching that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. I'm getting this going. I've been working on something like this for a while. I really wanted to get this out in May, but there were a couple things in the way of me doing it. And so this is just kind of just a test. This is a test show to see how you guys respond to this. I have a channel separate that's for this podcast. It's going to be called the Too Savage for Democrats. You can just search that on YouTube. That's the channel. And yeah, this is just going to be a daily show where I talk about all the news and just kind of my opinions on everything. It's like a radio show, except on the internet for you guys to listen to, that's easily accessible to you guys. So again, this is a test episode. Just want to see the kind of reception that I get for doing something like this, and we're going to go from there. All right, so the first thing that I really want to get to is this whole controversy with Donald Trump saying that Barack Obama created ISIS. So Trump was giving a speech, and in that speech, he said that Obama created ISIS. Now, as soon as he said that, right, I knew that the media was going to go crazy over that. I knew that it was going to be just a festival of media pundits, because they jump on the smallest things that Donald Trump does. Let's be completely honest about the media. That's the one thing we have to realize. You know, before anything happens, you have to understand how the media operates. And the media is in constant defense of Hillary Clinton. Constant defense of Hillary. I mean, you could not be more defensive of Hillary Clinton than the media is. I mean, they are ridiculously in defense of Hillary Clinton 100% of the time. And so Donald Trump came out and said that Obama created ISIS. They immediately see that as an opportunity to turn the tables and attack Donald Trump. And that's really all they care about, is they want to be able to attack Donald Trump. They don't care about the issues that matter. They don't care about the email scandal. They don't care about ISIS. They don't care about the debt. They don't care about anything. The only thing they care about is making sure that Hillary Clinton wins the election. And you guys may not believe me here. There's probably going to be some stuff, dude, you can't just say that the media is trying to get Hillary to win. That's unrealistic, dude. It's not at all. All you have to do is just watch CNN, watch MSNBC, MSLSD, watch all these stations, watch the Alphabet News, and then use your stopwatch. If you don't want to believe the actual statistics, use your stopwatch and measure the amount of time that they talk about Trump in a negative way and the time they talk about Hillary in a negative way. The time they talk about Trump will outweigh the Hillary by a large margin. And that's how the media has been in all elections, but especially this one, because Hillary Clinton cannot win this election on her own. I've said this constant times over on my main channel, Dylan's Daily Show. Hillary Clinton cannot win this election on her own. She just can't do it because she isn't charming. She doesn't have the winning personality that you need. Obama does. Clinton does. The media can help with that, and that's what they're doing. And so they want to portray Donald Trump as a bad guy, and they do it with the polls as well. They do it with the polling, and I'm not going to talk about the media the whole show. No one wants to hear about that. But they do it with the polling as well. Is they show that Hillary Clinton is leading in the polls by a massive margin, so that when people look at the polls, they assume the election's over, they stay home, they don't vote. That's what they're doing. Hillary Clinton cannot draw the same voters that Barack Obama drew. She can't do that. She's not able to draw the same people. So the same group, the large voter turnout that Obama had and Clinton had. Actually, Bill Clinton wouldn't have won that election if it weren't for Ross Perot, which I think is funny. There would be no Clinton if there was no Ross Perot, that race. Which is kind of... But anyway, I digress. Trump saying Obama created ISIS. Did he create ISIS? Well, it depends how you look at it, of course, right? Obama didn't go over to Iraq and recruit a bunch of people, call the group ISIS, then come back to the United States. He didn't physically create ISIS. He didn't go over there and create ISIS. But this is something that Donald Trump has been saying for the entire campaign, which this is why it's even more funny that the media is attacking him for it now. They didn't attack him for it in January, February, March, April, any of those months when it was the primaries. They waited until the general election, when he's going against Hillary Clinton, the goddess of the media, to attack Donald Trump on this comment. So and he said it again. I mean, he's repeated it like 40 times. Just go back and watch any of the debates. He legitimately says, and a lot of the other Republicans say it as well, that Obama's foreign policy created ISIS, which it absolutely did. It didn't create ISIS the group. Obviously, ISIS the group was there before, but it did create the vacuum for ISIS to thrive in. ISIS wouldn't be as big of a threat as it is today if it were not for the Obama administration. I don't care what you have to say about that. That is the fact. That is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. I bring the facts. I don't bring any myths here on Dylan's or on the Two Savage Democrats podcast. So, Obama. Okay, let's go. We have to go back. Okay, let's look back to Bush is in office. We go into Iraq. Probably shouldn't have done that in the first place, but we did it. All right, that is a decision we made. That is a decision that we made that we probably should not have made. It was a bad decision. But we did it, so it's like you can't look back. That's what I hate, right? Is that whenever you try to criticize the Obama foreign policy with a Democrat, they just immediately like, well, Bush was worse. Bush went into Iraq. Oh, Bush lied about the WMDs. Oh, and it's like, okay, we can't fix that. We cannot fix that. But you can't look back to the past president and be like, hey, look, that president was bad, so that's acceptable for my president to suck. No, just because Bush wasn't the best president doesn't mean it's okay for Obama to suck, right? Obama should have been better. Could you imagine Donald Trump running for office saying, well, Obama was a horrible president, so I'm going to go ahead and be a horrible president as well, but that's fine because... No, it'd be horrible. But anyway, Obama pulls out of Iraq because that was one of the big campaign promises that he made, that he wants to pull out of Iraq. That he would bring all the troops home, right? Which later he realized once he actually sat down with the advisors that isn't possible. This is a dumb move. But he realized that, and so he pulled all the troops out of Iraq at first. Now, what happens? Iraq and Iran were fighting each other for years before this. They would go back and forth, fight each other, everything. John McCain, in 2008, said that we should leave 20 to 30,000 troops in Iraq for a long time, maybe even permanently, right? That was John McCain's position. Obama, the media, the Democrats mocked him about that, saying, oh, look at Donald Trump, big war hawk. Or I mean, John McCain, big war hawk, blah, 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 blah. McCain ended up being right. Regardless of how neoconish that sounded, John McCain ended up being 100% right. Obama brought all the troops home. We should have left 25 to 30,000 troops in Iraq. That should have happened because you need to secure that area. You need to secure that area. Obama didn't want to listen to anybody. Oh, I don't need to listen to anybody. I'm Barack Obama. Why would I need to listen to anybody? So he pulls all the troops out. Now there's this vacuum, okay? There's this vacuum. There's no defense in Iraq. Iraq cannot defend itself. What happens? ISIS moves in and takes over. ISIS starts gaining land. ISIS becomes more powerful. That's exactly how Obama created ISIS. Now, he created the ISIS coming to power. Again, he didn't absolutely create ISIS, but I'm sick and tired of the media trying to spin Donald Trump's words all the time and be like, oh, look, Donald Trump said this. Donald Trump kicked a baby out of his thing. This is a problem because I'm seeing a lot of people who supported Trump earlier are now starting to regret that decision to support Trump because of the stuff the media is saying. And I'm like, wake up. Wake up. They're lying to you. This is what they want. They want you to stop supporting Donald Trump. They want to manipulate you into believing that Donald Trump is a bad candidate, and you idiots are falling for it. Don't listen to the media. Don't get your news on what Donald Trump said from MSNBC. Don't do it. If you go on Snapchat, right, and you look at the stories, I'm going to go do it right now because it's insane. Absolutely insane. If you go look at the stories, CNN has their little, like at the top of Snapchat, they have all these different news organizations that have little Snapchat stories on there, and CNN's one of them. I swear to goodness, every single time it's a CNN story, it's just going to be full of liberal crap. Every single time. It's not even a joke. Here's the most recent one. The town, his wall, threatens to destroy. Right? They set it up like it's some kind of novel. Like that Donald Trump's trying to destroy villages by setting up. No. It's every single time, too. Donald Trump's bad week, like just everything. And all they do is just outline the bad stuff that happened so that people who read that, people on Snapchat who look at that are saying, look, Donald Trump said this, he may not be that good of a candidate after all. Let's vote for Hillary. Are you starting to see where I'm coming from with this, ladies and gentlemen? Are you starting to see how the media is trying to manipulate your mind? They're trying to make you believe that Donald Trump is a bad person. And this is what they do with all Republicans. They did the same thing with Romney. With Romney, they don't went after the money. They said, look, Romney has all this money. He can't be a good person because he has this money. And they absolutely just hammered him over that. Now, Donald Trump can defend himself with the money because he just owns up to it. And Romney tried to hide the wealth, which was a mistake. Romney made a lot of mistakes. That was one of them, trying to hide the wealth. But the media is physically trying to manipulate you into believing that Trump's a bad person, so you vote for Hillary. That's what they want. Or you just don't vote at all. If you watch CNN at night, which you shouldn't because it's complete and total cancer, but if you do, they only bring on they'll bring on Republicans who are like, well, I'm not supporting Donald Trump. The one Republican that they can find. If they find 5 Republicans who don't want to support Donald Trump, they just spread them out over the course of 5 nights. It seems like a lot because every single night they've got a new Republican that won't support Donald Trump. It's a small majority or a small minority. And they bring them on, but they spread it. They make it look like Donald Trump is this horrible, awful, evil, mean person that no one wants to support, no one wants to have anything to do with, and it's complete and total BS, and it irritates me. It irritates me as a Trump supporter. There's only so much they can do to show Hillary Clinton's good side. You can't. There is no good side to Hillary Clinton. There's none. So what do they have to do to make up for that? Well, they have to show Donald Trump's bad side, which they have to dig out stuff that doesn't even exist. It's just complete non-stories. They just have to dig them out and find this bull crap in the news that they can say that Donald Trump did wrong. It's ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. And I honestly hope, and I'm not saying that I'm not trying to push Donald Trump. I am. But you're watching my show, or listening to this, I should say, knowing, that I support Donald Trump. Knowing. It's not like you're listening to this thinking that I'm some independent radio talk show host who's going to give you, the fair. No, I support Donald Trump. I have a conservative spin on it, which I think is good because there's hardly any of that anymore. But CNN and all these other stations, they pretend like they're giving you the fair news. Even though it's not, and even though it's clearly left-wing. But that's enough talking about the media. I don't want to spend the whole show. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to listen to me talk about the media, especially on show number 1. Nobody wants that, right? Who wants to come on here and listen to the media? Oh, hey, Dylan, look, Dylan's talking about the media. You guys are you're like, no, nobody. So we're going to move on to more important stuff. So more controversy right now, ladies and gentlemen, coming from the whole Black Lives Matter movement over the death of an African-American man in Milwaukee. Now, what happened is basically there was a traffic stop where a cop pulled over. It was a traffic stop with this African-American man. The man's name was Sylvill, Sylville. So Sylvill K. Smith, and he was 23 years old. I'm probably mispronouncing that name so bad right now, but I'm horrible with names, and I've come to the conclusion that I'm horrible with names. So we're just going to have to go with that. So that was the guy's name. What happened is they were at a traffic stop, and Sylvill had a gun. Okay, so he had a gun on him. This is what the police are saying, and this is apparently confirmed by the police, and the Daily Mail has reported it. I'm reading it on Breitbart right now. It's all over the place. He had a gun, all right? The officer was in fear of his life. He said, drop the gun. The man didn't. Long story short, Sylvill ended up getting shot, right? Getting shot and killed. When you hear a story like this, it sounds like it's bad. And that's what it always sounds like to all these Black Lives Matter movements, all these movements like that. It sounds like it's something that we should be concerned about and that something we can get on top of, right? Which I do think so. We have to fix the tension between African Americans and police officers. That's something that has to be fixed. But this person had a gun. And apparently, if the facts are correct right now, he was told to drop the gun by the police officer. Remember, he had more firepower on him than the police officer. The gun he had was better than the gun the police officer had. He was told to drop the gun by the police officer. He said no. And the police officer felt like he was in fear for his life and shot him. Now, Now there's riots, of course, breaking all over the place. And they're burning down gas stations, they're burning down police stations, they had to put in a curfew, they had to do all this. I mean, it's the typical response from the Black Lives Matter movement, from these groups, these protesters, that you see every single time that there is an African American person killed by police. You see it every single time. Forget when white people are killed by police. Forget when black people are killed by other black people. That doesn't matter. They just want to be able to take advantage of something, and it's easier to take advantage of a white cop killing an African American police officer, or a white cop killing an African American man, than it is for an African American man killing an African American man. Because then you'd have to resolve a problem. See, that's the thing, is they don't actually want to resolve problems. They just want to create conflict. They want to have something to do with their life. So they like to go out there and riot against every single thing they can think of to riot against, because that's how they feel like they're accomplishing something. They're saying, hey, look, you know, I know there's black on black crime is ridiculously crazy, through the roof, insane. So that's probably the what we should be focusing on. But I don't really care about that. Let's just focus on the things that I feel like are important, that actually don't matter. So that's what they're doing. But anyway, so they're doing all this rioting. But here's my question, you know, and I don't want to cover this story that much, because honestly, all the details aren't out yet. We're still looking for details. I'm reading through the Breitbart story right now. You know, the guy Smith who was shot, he had a history of handling firearms. He had pictures on social media of him pointing the gun, which a lot of people do that. But this guy had a history with things, and he had a criminal record. So that's another thing. Let's see if we can find it here. And last year, the suspect was brought in on charges in a connection with shooting, but the charges were dropped. So he didn't exactly have a full-on record, but the charges had been dropped. But he'd been brought in for suspicion with the shooting, everything like that. Chief Flynn said the body camera footage from the incident would be released at a later date after due process, which is completely fine. I am glad there was a body camera at recording the incident, because I really think the whole body camera thing is very important. And I think people downplay the importance of the body camera. People want it for different reasons, right? Obviously, the Black Lives Matter movement wants the body camera so they can try to prove that all white cops are racist. I want the body camera so we can see as people. And it's not like the Black Lives Matter people are going to be convinced of anything. But I would like to show some of these people who think the cops are the bad guys what these police officers have to deal with. What they have to deal with on a daily basis, because I think they don't really understand, right? They see the conflict, they see all this, but I don't think they really understand what these police officers have to deal with when they get into these situations with people, white, black, orange, whatever. It doesn't matter what race they are. There's stupid people in every race. There's stupid people that won't drop their gun. There's stupid people that won't listen to cops in every single race. This isn't just a black problem. This is a human problem. There's scum in every single race. That's never going to change. And that's what police officers do. Now think about it. Signing up as a police officer, you already were putting your life on the line, right? You're putting your life on the line to defend the citizens of that city that you're a police officer of. So if I wanted to be let's just take Milwaukee. If I was going to be a police officer in Milwaukee, I'm putting my life on the line to defend the people of Milwaukee. That's already a tough enough job. I mean, you have to go straight into these situations. You don't know what's going on. Anything could happen in these situations. So you're already on edge, right? You go into these situations. Now, it's only making it worse for the cops and harder for the cops when there are legitimately groups of people claiming that police officers shouldn't even be allowed to discharge their weapon, even if they are in fear of their life. A cop could be being shot at. And there's still people who would say that it was not acceptable for the officer to discharge his weapon at that time. That's how ridiculous things have come. And so it makes the job of a police officer twice as hard, because now he has to start second guessing himself. In these situations, adrenaline's pumping. You don't know what's going on. Someone pulls out a phone from their pocket you could confuse out of a gun in these types of situations. I mean, these are scary situations. But you're making their job twice as hard. You're making them much more nervous about things like this. And so let's talk a little bit about, when is a cop? And this is a question I have. I don't think there's any, BLM supporters or any, all cops are racist people listening to my show. But if there are, I just have this question. At what point is a cop allowed to discharge his weapon? At what point? Because I want to know, okay? If I am a police officer and I pull somebody over to traffic stop, they have a gun, I say drop the weapon, they don't do it, and I feel intimidated, I feel like I am in fear for my life, am I allowed to discharge my weapon? Yes or no? Don't give me some stupid, oh, well, it depends on the situation. No, you can't say that, because the cop sitting there with a gun pointed at him isn't going to be thinking about your dumb situation, right? He's going to be thinking of his life. He's going to be thinking about getting home to his kids. He doesn't care about the situation. He wants to make sure he's safe, and someone running around with a gun, frankly, isn't safe for the rest of the city. Again, the police officer's job is to protect the citizens of that city. So the officer is not only defending his own life, he's defending other people's lives as well. And if he feels that that person is a threat not only to himself, but to other people, an immediate threat, you need to deal with that threat. Now, a lot of people say that, oh, it's training. They need to have better training. Okay, we can improve the training. That's fine. But I don't think that training, you can train so much, but you can't train for every single situation. You cannot do it. It's just, it cannot happen. You cannot train for every single situation that you are going to encounter as a police officer. And that's why, this just pisses me off to no end, ladies and gentlemen, that every single time, it seems like police can do nothing right. It's not enough that they go out there and they defend the city. They defend the innocent citizens of that city. They defend us. They're on the front lines against these gangs. They're on the front lines against these drug dealers, against everybody. They're out there on the front lines. They respond to the call. Someone breaks into your house. You call the cops, right? If you don't have a gun, you call the cops. The cops are showing up to protect you. They don't have, they can legally say no, but most of them won't. Most of them will come out there and protect you. Most of them will pull up to your house, run into your house to save you, not knowing what's coming. They could be ambushed. They could be shot at. Anything. They have no idea. Think about that job for a minute. And I don't think that these Black Lives Matter lunatics that are attacking cops all the time for what they do take into consideration what police officers do. It's one of the most dangerous. Being a police officer in some of these cities in this country is one of the most dangerous jobs in the country. It's dangerous. You're running into situations you don't know what's going to happen. And it frustrates me that these Black Lives Matter people feel the need to attack cops, criticize cops over every single little thing they do, like they can do nothing right. You're basically saying to police officers, we do not value what you're doing for our society. We don't value you protecting us. We do not value you putting your life before ours. You know what I mean? Like basically risking your life for us. We don't value that, Mr. Officer. You're scum. We don't value it. That's basically what these Black Lives Matter people are saying. And now how does this, then the attitude in these police departments is to now second guess everything that they do. Every single decision they make. You have to second guess it. You have to make sure you're doing the right thing. This is very, very dangerous for cops. Now, I don't want to talk about this story. I covered the basic details of it, but I don't want to cover everything until all the details come out. So we'll get that, within the next couple of days as more information starts coming out. I'm just covering, I like to make sure that a bunch of different news organizations have covered and that what I'm saying on here is 100% correct, because I don't want to come on here and tell you guys something and then you guys listen to it and you're like, oh, wow, must be true, and then go repeat. So I want to make sure that a bunch of different news organizations have said it so that if I'm wrong, I can blame them. But, and so I'll definitely get the rest of that information to you guys as soon as I can, but just think about that. Black Lives Matter supporter or not. Now, obviously, this is something I could dedicate a whole show to. The tension between police officers and African-American people. You could dedicate a whole show to that. I could do a whole investigation on that, right? I could do go Greta Van Susteren do a whole investigation. But I don't have that much time here. So I just want you to think. Imagine what it's like to be a police officer. Imagine what it's like to rush into a situation, not knowing what's going on, risking your life, And then now after this, having to second guess yourself on the number. Just think about that, okay? I just want you to think about that as we move on with the Too Savage for Democrats daily podcast here. Keep that thought in your mind. Just kind of ponder it. And also comment down below with what you think. Do you think that's fair for me to ask that question? Do you think that's a reasonable question, or do you think that shouldn't matter? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the Clinton Family Foundation is now under fire. So we've heard a lot about the Clinton Foundation, but there's a separate entity, which is the Clinton Family Foundation, right? This is the other branch of it, completely different entity, completely different thing. Now, unfortunately, when you're dealing with charities, there are a lot of groups that don't give all of the money that you donate to the charitable organization. So like if you donate to some charities, they give 70 cents on the dollar to the cause, and then they keep the rest for funding, whatever. There are some organizations that give 100% of the money to the people, and those are the charities that you want to donate to. So you just, I get around that, just, you do some research, make sure that the charitable organization that you're donating to gives 100% of the money to the cause, because you really don't want to be funding these trips. But anyway, so the Clinton Family Foundation is under fire now, which really didn't surprise me. It's the Clintons, right? But I still figured I should talk about it because you should know this stuff. This is stuff that you should know, because when you're making your decision, when you go to the polls, you should have all the information. And the media isn't going to tell you this. Do you really think that the media is going to come out and tell you about all this? No. Okay, I'm reading this on the Free Beacon. I'm not reading this on MSNBC. I'm not reading this on CNN. Not even reading this on Fox. This is on the Free Beacon. So the headline is "Millions in Clinton Charitable Giving Ends Up at Clinton Foundation." So the Clinton, and then it says under that, the Clinton Family Foundation has passed over $4 million in donations to the Clinton Foundation. So Hillary Clinton gave $1,042,000 to charity last year, with $1 million going to the Clinton Family Foundation, according to her 2015 tax return. So again, let's put this into perspective so that you guys can kind of understand what I'm talking about here. There's the Clinton Family Foundation, and then there's an entirely separate entity, which is the Clinton Foundation. That's the one we mostly hear about, the Clinton Foundation. But there's also the Clinton Family Foundation, which is completely different. Now, what's happening is people are donating to the Clinton Family Foundation, and then some of the money that's being donated to the Family Foundation is being given to the Clinton Foundation. And then the money that's given to the Clinton Foundation is being spent on lavish vacations, on jet trips around the world, on stuff like that. So they're basically using the money to travel and for their foundation. So again, Clinton Family Foundation, Clinton Foundation. You donate to the Clinton Family Foundation. Some of the money that you donate to that goes to the Clinton Foundation. Okay, two different entities. It's very confusing, but that's what's going on. So the Clinton Family Foundation, I'm just going to kind of read from this here. The Clinton Family Foundation is a charitable vehicle used by the Clintons and an entirely separate entity from the scandal-plagued Clinton Foundation. Bill Clinton acts as the foundation's president, blah, 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 blah. Almost all of the money the Clintons have written off as charity on their tax returns was given to the Clinton Family Foundation. From this foundation, the Clintons then cut donations to numerous charities, including American Nurses Foundation, Arkansas Children Hospital Foundation, and Georgetown University, among others. The Clintons have donated to other Clinton-linked groups through the Clinton Family Foundation on a number of occasions. For instance, the Clinton Family Foundation donated $250,000 to the Diplomacy Center Foundation in 2014. Hillary sits on the group's board of directors and acts as its honorary co-chair. So basically, they're giving money not only to the Clinton Foundation, but to other groups and other organizations that the Clintons have ties to. So this is all intertwined, all corrupt as usual from the Clintons. Should you really expect anything different at this point? At this point, right, I see stuff like this, and this is unfortunate that this person's running for president, and I see this. But when I think of Hillary Clinton, and I see something corrupt that she did, or I see something stupid that she did, I don't think, oh, wow, I'm really surprised that Hillary Clinton would do that. No, I look at that and I say, of course is what happened. Of course Hillary Clinton would do something like this. She's a scum, and that's exactly what she does. She's trying to deceive us, ladies and gentlemen, and we have to see through that, and that's why I'm reporting the story. So The Clintons have donated. Oh, we already read that. Blah, blah, blah. They put a little flow of the money breakdown since 2007 on their page here. It's 2007, 2008, 9, 10, 11. It goes all the way through. And it basically just lists, like, here's one. The Clintons gave $1 million to charity, with all of it going to the Clinton Family Foundation. That year, the Clinton Family Foundation kicked $150,000 to the Clinton Foundation itself. So out of the $1 million they received that year, $150,000 of that went to the Clinton Foundation, the main one, the scandal-ridden Clinton Foundation. So they're moving most of this money that they get to the Clinton Foundation. I mean, that's a large chunk. That's a lot of money. $150,000 a year. That's what some people struggle to make in a paycheck. You know what I mean? That's some people's yearly salary. And the Clintons are just kicking that no big deal over to their foundation. The Clintons, 2010, the Clintons recorded giving $1 million to charity, all of which went to the Clinton Family Foundation. The Clintons then paid the Clinton Foundation $125,000 from the Clinton Family Foundation. 2011, the Clintons gave $1,400,000 to charity in 2011. The Clinton Family Foundation received the full $1,400,000 after these transactions. The Clinton Family Foundation then poured $352,000 into the Clinton Foundation. I hope this is understandable for you guys. Like, I hope I'm not being stupid and making this like really hard to understand. I'm trying my hardest to kind of make it simple, but this is just very, very complicated, this whole thing. And you can find this on the Free Beacon website if you want to read the story. It's a really good story. It's a fantastic story, and it really breaks down what the Clintons have been doing. They've just been deceiving you. I mean, they have been deceiving you. I do not understand, and I struggle to understand how people vote for the Clintons knowing what they do, okay? Knowing what they do. These people who support them, these Hillary Clinton supporters, these people who are going to be voting for Hillary, there's no way they just hide from it. If you're debating a Hillary Clinton supporter, they hide from Hillary Clinton scandals. They don't come out and admit that she has any. Hell no. They're not going to admit that because then they wouldn't be why they're voting for her. They just attack Trump. They say, oh, Trump said this, that's mean. Trump said this, that's mean. Trump's wife copied Michelle Obama's speech, and Trump said this, that's mean. And then you come back, Hillary, Whitewater, Benghazi, email scandal, and then they're gone at that point. After you list off the third, they're gone. So I get a little drink there. Just an entirely scandalous thing from the Clintons here. And this always happens. I mean, this is just something you got to get used to, ladies and gentlemen. And you're going to start seeing more and more of this come out before the election in a desperate attempt from the conservatives, which is good. They want to stop Hillary Clinton before the election. That's their goal. And that should be everybody's goal. We shouldn't allow Hillary Clinton to be president. Can you imagine? Just think about that for a second, guys. Obama has done a horrible job as president. If you're trying to defend Obama's presidency, I don't know what you've been smoking. Obama's done a horrible job as president. Obama's not a good president. Hillary Clinton, okay, with Obama, he wasn't proven to be corrupt, right? When he was running for president, he wasn't proven to be corrupt. He wasn't really in the system. He didn't know the ins and outs, so he wasn't that corrupt. He was just an idiot, right? And he refused, and yes, and I say idiot, because he acted like an idiot while he was president as well. He did not go to his morning briefings. He skipped them to play golf. He didn't listen to his advisors. He made horrible decisions, tried to defend those decisions, and those are idiotic things to do. So I'm not saying that Obama's an idiot as a person. I'm just saying that, by the way, most of the time if I call someone an idiot or if I say something stupid, it's comedy, right? I'm not sitting here like I actually believe these people are idiots. I don't think Obama's an idiot. I think he's an intelligent person. I just think he made idiotic decisions as president of the United States. Decisions that weren't very intelligent, especially when you're dealing with a country. When you're leading a country, you should be making these stupid decisions. So, again, Obama wasn't really intertwined with the whole corruption thing. Clinton, on the other hand, they've been doing this for years. They've been doing this for years. They've been doing this since they were in Arkansas. So just think about it. We have had the Clintons doing their sketchy stuff since they were in Arkansas. They're used to this corruption. Hillary Clinton's going to take office. We're going to see an entirely different world, an entirely different America. I don't think America's going to be destroyed, right? A lot of people say that this is the end of America. Blah, 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 blah. I don't think this is the end of America. Right? I don't think that electing Hillary Clinton is, the end of the world. I think America will be fine in 8 years. It's definitely not going to be in good shape. It's not going to be gone, though. It's better if Donald Trump takes office because we're starting down this path of eventually we're not going to be able to continue down this path. Eventually. It's going to come to a point where we can't afford these social welfare programs. It's just eventually we're going to come to a point where we end up like Greece, and that's not going to be good. We're barely staying afloat right now because we're such a powerful country. Other countries are helping us. But if those countries decide to stop helping us, I mean, we're pretty much screwed, right? So the Clintons, they are corrupt. They know the inner workings of the political system. It's not going to be it's going to be much, much different than the presidency that we've seen from Obama. It's going to be much more corrupt. Obama's an ideologue. Hillary Clinton will follow through on some of the most corrupt things you have seen in the history of American politics. In the history of American politics. And I'm saying that right now. It is going to be massive amounts of corruption. A lot of people don't believe that. Because she's a woman. She can't be corrupt. She's a woman. No, she can be corrupt. And you think Bill Clinton's not going to be corrupt? Bill Clinton's going to be. It's hard to imagine Bill Clinton being corrupt because he's so likable. And I admit that too. He's a likable guy. But he's corrupt as well. So this election, honestly, is very nerve-wracking for me because I want to get Trump in there. Now, Trump's the same way as Obama was in the sense that he doesn't know the inner workings of politics. He's not going to be very corrupt in office because of that fact. Because he doesn't know the inner workings. Now, my hope is, and I sincerely hope this, if Trump wins the election, which there was a Breitbart poll that came out that had Trump trailing Hillary Clinton 42% to 37%. Now, that's a Breitbart poll, a right-wing poll. There was some other company in it. I forgot the name. Now, that's closer than the media will have you believe. That's something that Donald Trump can overcome. But the media won't tell you that because they don't want Trump to overcome it. They want Trump to lose. But my hope is that when Trump takes office, that he will actually listen to his advisors, that he'll get good people in high positions to help him. And I said this on the TSFD podcast yesterday on my main channel, Dylan's Daily Show, that we have the president isn't supposed to be a master at every single position. You don't elect the president to be amazing with foreign policy, with the economy, with all that. It's very rare that they're amazing at everything, right? That's what we have advisors for. That's what we have a cabinet for. Reagan had this thing called the kitchen cabinet, which I refer to this a lot because I think it's a great idea. Basically, what the kitchen cabinet is you put peanut butter, jelly, all this kind of... No, I'm just kidding. What the kitchen cabinet is a kind of a backroom cabinet. Backroom sounds sketchy. It's basically a group of advisors that Reagan had that he wasn't paying or anything like that. They were just his close friends that he would talk to and get advice from. I mean, Reagan went around and got advice from a lot of people before he made decisions as president, and that's why I think you see the success of Reagan. That's really good. So the kitchen cabinet, good. I hope Trump does stuff like that. We want to elect a president that's a good leader. Okay, that's what we want in a president. We want a good leader because leaders can lead. The president is supposed to lead. Now, he can be good at some things. He needs to be good at decision-making. That's very important. Trump will be good with the economy, I believe, but he's going to put people in positions that will benefit the American people. They'll be the best choices for those decisions. And that's where Trump's going with that, and I hope that that's what he does. I don't think Hillary will do that. Obama didn't do that. I think Trump will do that. And I think that's why you're going to see success with Trump where you didn't with Obama. Yeah. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the show today. Going to do it a little bit shorter because this is just, again, the first episode of this podcast. I want to see how this goes. I don't know how many views this is going to get. This is not, again, on my second channel. So I don't know how this is going to do, but I guess we'll find out. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed it. And if you're coming over from the main channel, which I'm assuming a lot of you are since I promoted this at the end of my my video today. If you're coming over from the main channel, again, thanks for coming. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. I'm going to try to do these every day, Monday through Friday. Possibly weekends. I think I might take weekends off from this. I'll still do the videos, obviously, on the weekends, but not the whole podcast. But yeah, just doing this. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch up with you guys tomorrow, and I'm going to try to do it earlier as well because we're getting this out a little late today because it was just all over the place today. But anyway, yeah, I will catch up with you guys later. Bye-bye.